The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. If you enjoy our work, please like, comment, subscribe, and follow the links in the description. Thanks for your support, and enjoy. Greetings and salutations, listeners. I, Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by the guy who hangs out near me, the boy.
Hey.
This is the Two Nerds Podcast. We're talking about WWE Backlash, and we're not mad at this pay-per-view. We're just disappointed.
I wanted this to be good. In the grand tradition of, rival wrestling promotions, WWE's trying to wrestle them up some internal brand promotion rivalry, and I really wanted this to be good.
Here's the trick. On paper, other than one match, it doesn't look bad. On paper. I don't think there was a call here that I disagreed with. There was one I didn't want to see.
Yeah, same.
But
I think I agreed with all the calls. I think all the calls were smart booking decisions, except one.
Except one match.
One match was a bad booking decision, and there was one match that I thought was a good booking decision that I didn't want to see.
Yeah, same. But, I've actually checked out a lot of other people's opinions. We have that benefit because we do the podcast Monday night, Tuesday morning. So most people have already given their thoughts by now. So I've checked out a couple of other thoughts because I was curious to take a temperature of what the internet thinks of this pay-per-view. And what I've seen has been largely positive.
I can see that.
But also about the wrestling.
I can see that. I genuinely could. I can explain why. Then we'll go match to match.
I
can
didn't
explain.
see that.
I can explain why. Because I think the problems that you, and to a lesser extent myself, had with the proceedings weren't necessarily based in the wrestling. And I'll do my best we can go over it when we get to the matches, because I think it might prove something interesting.
That's absolutely fair. Listener, if this one's short, I'm sorry. We have some cool stuff coming up for you, though, to make up for it.
And I'm not going to try and beat a dead horse with this pay-per-view. We'll make the points we have to make, and then we're going to move on.
The cool stuff has already been recorded, so it actually exists. So it's not like all that other cool stuff I promise you and never deliver on.
Hey, I wasn't going to say it, but, I mean...
Well, yeah, I just got to be honest with listening, man. We have a very special relationship.
So, first match.
First match, best match of the night.
Yeah, I'd say, my favorite match of the night. I don't think, maybe not the best wrestling match of the night.
There were two problems with it. One, first match of the night was the six-pack challenge for the ladies.
Yeah, we didn't watch the pre-show because we don't. Hey, you know what? I'm going to save us some time. We're never going to watch the fucking pre-show. Unless otherwise noted, assume we didn't watch the pre-show.
In 2 weeks, we're going to watch that pre-show.
We're
going to be like, that pre-show looks really good.
Bullshit, I am. I have shit to do.
Yeah, who needs fucking 4 hours of wrestling? I digress. We had Carmella, Alexa Bliss.
Otherwise, delightfully known to the Two Nerds Podcast as Trash Panda.
I love her.
She's amazing.
Naomi, Natalya, one of the Bellas, the one who wrestles still, and...
Boobs, Bella. With the boob laces. Who got boobs?
Who was the... Becky Lynch.
Yep.
Was the women's championship.
SmackDown Women's Championship. And Raw, I want you to take a good hard look at the SmackDown Women's title. You know how the Raw Women's title is... The WWE Women's title is white with a red background? You know how the SmackDown made their Women's title white with a blue background? You know how the Universal Championship could have been a black belt with a red background to denote that it's a different championship than the world, and then you could give the world title a blue background contrast for cool branding. Instead, you made the strawberry belt. Look at the women's title and feel shame.
I like to laugh at it. I like to give it a stupid name, but I actually don't think the Strawberry Championship looks that stupid.
Whereas I like to laugh at it and give it a stupid name, and I think it looks retarded.
The SmackDown Tag Team Championships, by contrast, look loads better. First of all, silver plates instead of copper.
It's the same design.
Oh, yeah.
But dark blue leather looks cool. That's something
Mhm.
we don't see a lot. And the silver plates make it ages better. They're not pennies.
We've been saying
They're
that.
dimes.
We've been saying that since they debuted the new belts. Is that design is fine, but the metal makes it look bad. It makes it look cheap.
Also, it allows the new tag team champs to drop a fire promo on somebody, be like, on the New Day, wants to be like, yeah. The Raw tag team champions think they're so cool. Well, I mean, we only got silver, but you guys got bronze.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the two things wrong with this match. First of all, as you rightly pointed out while we were watching it, the get out of the ring-a-thon that was the first half of this match.
It was literally just like everyone cleared the ring, and then everyone took naps for like 3 minutes each, and it was just a series of singles matches. And I get it; they wanted to highlight everyone and make sure everyone had a big standout spot, and they only had 14 minutes to do it in. But
That's predictable.
as fuck, really.
B, why are you having a 6-pack challenge and not a tournament then? I guess because you already had the tag tournament, but.
And because they wanted a big match, and because they wanted a big, they only had one space on the card for it.
I mean, like, if you're going to make them different, make them different. If you're not, don't.
That's fair.
Is basically what I have to say there. Now, I didn't feel like it detracted too much, but there was also a blown spot between Naomi and Natalya that just didn't.
Hiroshima blown.
And instead of Naomi giving up and changing the spot, by God, she just kept trying to do it. I mean, Natalya tried to sell it with her face, and in the moment of the match, it kind of carried me through a little bit. But again, as Boy pointed out, the more I think about it since last night, not a good spot.
No, I mean, look, it didn't destroy the match, but boy howdy was that spot shit. But in a 14-minute match, one catastrophically blown spot means a lot, but doesn't mean everything. The match was very fun.
And when I say catastrophically blown, or when you say it, I mean it as in, like, man, that was bowling shoe ugly. That didn't go well.
That looked fake. It looked scripted.
It looked fake. Dear God, someone nearly died.
That's true. It could have been worse. We got no X's.
Yeah.
Well, that's because Alicia Fox wasn't in this match.
No, of course not.
It was an incredibly fun match.
Yeah, it was my favorite match of the night.
It had cool eliminations. Everyone did end up looking really cool. Everyone got their moment. And even the person who was eliminated first looked strong as fuck, which is important if you're trying to sell all these people as competitors. Ultimately, Becky Lynch went over, which I was fucking stunned by. I was sure it was going to be the Bella. They got a new season of the Bella show showing up, and I figured that was just going to be the thing they did to try and combine them, cross-promotion and stuff.
I was kind of pulling for Naomi, but Becky Lynch is also a good choice, and really anybody but the Bella.
You know what? No, I mean, she sold me a lot during the match, but I wouldn't have liked Carmella.
It's a more interesting storyline.
That's true.
Would have been good for the build-up of a feud.
Because they did build up Carmella and the Bella fighting. It's Nikki. I mean, I'm literally looking at it, but it doesn't matter.
I'm not going to remember which one's Jay.
Which one's Jimmy? I'll never know.
And now even less so. Because they're just both Roman Reigns.
but less cool Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
They're both, you know what? They're those off-model clones. The ones that don't come out of the vat quite right.
Yeah.
But speaking of, let's see. The Usos fought the Hype Bros in the first match of the tag tournament on the show. What happened was American Alpha beat the Usos in like 30 seconds. The Usos got mad, turned heel, beat them up. Kayfabe injured one of them and took their spot. Which, that's a weird way to punish them for injuring another competitor outside a match, is to just give them a Klingon promotion and let them take their spot in the tournament.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense in character. And I'm really mad I didn't get to see American Alpha in this
But they
match.
sold it, though. Like one of the announcers, the face announcer, David Otunga, I think.
Yeah.
Well, actually sold it. He was like, I don't understand why they did this. This is stupid. These people should be suspended.
He said this the whole fucking night. Even in the women's match.
We got years of deprogramming to go through, okay?
Even in the women's match, he was like, somebody saved somebody from a pin. It doesn't matter who. And he was like, why would you do that? That's the dumbest thing ever. Free elimination.
Like, I like David Otunga as a guy who just says the thing the fan is saying on their couch when something stupid happens. That's good.
He's not hateful.
No,
He's not.
He's vanilla. Despite being, a cool-looking guy, he's vanilla. Despite having a law degree, he's vanilla.
I think he'll end up being something special in about 3 years. Maybe even sooner if he catches on quick. But
I mean, he is sitting next to Mauro Ronaldo.
Yeah, that's and Jables. So he's got one of two ways to go,
and both are grand. Yeah.
I will say the commentary for this show was actually really subpar all around. Mauro Ronaldo, if I had to make an educated guess, and I'm sure this is filtered through some bitterness, somebody was screaming in his ear constantly, telling him to do stuff, and it distracted him from commentary.
Whereas in the Cruiserweight Classic, they just let him do his fucking job.
And he does just fine. He just seemed distracted and goddamn bored, and that was my.
He did seem bored, comparatively. He was doing his best, but honestly, I don't think it was him. I think it was JBL.
Well, yeah, I was about to say even JBL was bored. Like David Otunga.
JBL was audibly fucking bored.
Oh my god! Well, so was fucking I, man. I almost fell asleep during either the main event or Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. I can't remember which one, but I was so uninvested.
Sorry about my rattly ice, by the way. I have a cold drink because my throat is very sore.
Yeah, he hopefully hasn't caught what I've got, but maybe. We'll find out. It always has to start somewhere and circle around. But you know what? I've been hearing it's going around these United States, so maybe you've got it too, listener, if you're in the United States right now, Ultimate Dragon.
'Tis the season, I think.
Yeah, coming up on that fall, heavy autumn.
Anyway.
Next podcast, we talk about the weather.
Look,
two nerds on a fucking front porch and rocking chairs.
Two Nerds podcast. This wrestling show is so boring, we got tangented off on the fucking weather.
Shit, dog.
Now, this match, the Usos are a good heel tag team. I could say that.
The Usos are a good heel tag team, and I don't like Mojo Rawley, but he was performing up to snuff for Mojo Rawley in this contest.
He gave you the performance you should expect from Mojo Rawley.
What
the fuck, Zach?
If one of the Usos took me aside, we had met publicly, and they were like, hey man, but for real, that entire match at Backlash, Zack Ryder was constantly farting. I would believe them, because it looked like he was constantly farting.
It's just, like, I like Zack Ryder as a performer. That is the worst wrestling match I've seen him put on in a good long time. He
showed light. Dude, a fucking Uso was running at him to hit his head with his ass, Rikishi style. And Zack Ryder was too low for it. And didn't move. Didn't adjust anything.
He took a DDT a full foot off the mat.
I mean, like, this is Zack Ryder. Okay, I respect you. You went through cancer, and you became a wrestler anyway, and that's astounding. You have tried so hard and done so much.
And honestly, I usually think you're a good competitor, personally.
And here you are with a team that's actually really over because for some reason Mojo Jojo gets the fans going.
He must have, like, acres of personal charisma. It might not come through the screen, but the dude must just light fans on fire.
He bores the snot. And I should like him. I should like this gimmick.
Yeah, he's
the ultimate warrior without the face paint.
He's nice Ryback.
He's nice Ryback. He's nice back.
He's big muscle goober who likes people and runs.
That's
you should
my
love this.
thing. We made an entire fictitious face gimmick for fucking what's his name with the beard?
Mike Knox.
Mike Knox in our WWE 2K games.
Where he was literally just Mojo Rawley.
Basically, yeah. He fucking came out to working for the weekend. We gave him brightly colored tights. He was just a fun fella. This guy does not do it for me. Does not. He doesn't interest me in the ring. His personality doesn't fucking interest me. Like, I should love this gimmick, and I don't.
It probably has something to do with his face structure.
Maybe he looks like you, and that bothers me.
I mean, look, it bothers me when people look like me. But I actually really want to take time to praise the Usos for this because it was 10 minutes, and they worked a really good match. Solid psychology. They focused on one part of Zack Ryder's anatomy. They did a finisher that was a new finisher that they're building up as a new submissions tag finisher, which is neat. You don't see those a lot. I honestly think this was a really well wrestled match on their parts, and they did a lot to make Zack Ryder look way better than he was being. They
worked their asses off in this match. I'm afraid it's not going to do much for him. like overall, even with this heel change, I don't know if they're gonna be over, but the fans were responding.
They were booing, and to be fair, listen. Let me get a little closer to the mic. Tell you a secret. So WWE, I noticed that you noticed that the Usos were getting boos. So what you did, you made them into bad guys, so that the boos made sense. Now I'm gonna tell you how to do your job. But I feel like if you applied that same logic to every Samoan currently active on the roster, I feel like you might have a much better product. I'm not going to name names, Roman Reigns, but I think if you just applied the same logic you did to the Usos to other nameless individuals, Roman Reigns, then I think you'd have a much better wrestling product, and I'm not sure why you didn't.
And they still haven't. Monday Night Raw happened tonight. He was in a Strawberry Championship match against Kevin Owens.
He lose?
Because Rusev showed up.
Because Rusev would rather Roman Reigns fight him for the championship?
I don't understand.
Rusev is like picking a fight with... Roman Reigns is done with you, Rusev. Roman Reigns left you alone. Why did you pick... Now he's going to fight you for your U.S. title and take it. I'm sorry, Ruru. If you lose the title, you made your own bet. You made your own bet on this case, man.
I think they're hoping to bank on the power of the greatest babyface in the company, also known as the greatest heel in the company, Rusev, and just to force Roman into full-facedom. I don't know why that hasn't worked so far.
But they're banking on it, and the greatest babyface in the company is, let's face it, it's CrossFit Jesus.
I've heard some stuff that says CrossFit Jesus isn't done so well backstage.
That would make sense.
And, you know, after his three-time injury streak, I'm not so happy about CrossFit Jesus lately myself, but accidents happen, I guess. Rolling along, the Usos won here.
Yeah, which is what they should have done. This definitely should have been them.
I'm glad it wasn't fucking GGB Johnson, whatever the fuck his name is.
This match was fine. The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. This match was, honestly, completely devoid of my personal feelings on the matter of sports. I think you would honestly agree, this was a good wrestling match. In terms of just a wrestling match, this was a really good wrestling match.
So, yes, but I could nitpick it.
Well, anyone can nitpick it. It wasn't perfect.
Yeah, okay, and I'm being fair here. Not yes, but I could nitpick it. Like, yes, but I could find its flaws. It wasn't perfect. Fuck this match. It's more like, okay, yeah, it was a fine match. It was one of the two best matches on the card.
Yeah, I would definitely say so.
But that doesn't mean it was a great match.
No, people are hailing it as a great match, and I don't know if that's true. I know The Miz and Dolph Ziggler have a huge amount of experience together, so they have no excuse to have anything but a good match.
Well, and like the biggest problems that I can point out in this match, really fucking slow start. And I respect that when you need a reset, but we didn't.
No, this was after Jimmy and Jey Uso beat the Hype Bros. We were fine. We were nice and reset, everybody.
Yeah, nobody cared. And then Dolph oversold some weird spots.
I don't think he did. I honestly think that he sold that stuff well because he helped to make the Miz's new angry Miz gimmick where he's actually upset and trying to prove something. It helped to sell it as him being, not fucking around.
Well, and let me give you the contrast point here. And this isn't me being wild conspiracy theorist White who wants to find a reason for the bullshit he sees in WWE. This is just me observing a thing. All of those spots in that match could be taken that way, and I would agree with you. But the thing that's tilting me is the slingshot, which was on the lower end of Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan at SummerSlam overselling.
Because The Rock used to sell the Stone Cold Stunner by literally doing a backflip.
All right, that's fine. But, look, listener, you and the boy and I all three know that wrestling is theatrical. When you do a slingshot, you are not actually using your mighty might to propel a man away. Okay? But what happened was The Miz laid down while hugging Dolph Ziggler's legs. Dolph Ziggler stood up, paused, and then launched himself over the top rope.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a little much, but
It was.
I liked it. It was fun.
I mean, I guess, and it would have been more fun if I was behind the Miz, maybe.
Or
Because
if
I'm
you
not.
gave a shit about Dolph Ziggler. See, this is I think your problem with this match is largely that you have never given a shit about the Miz, despite the fact that the Miz is one of the best working heels.
I disagree with that entirely. He had me good back at that one WrestleMania he was, against John Cena in.
But like,
And I liked him for a while after that on his run with the IC.
You haven't cared about.
I have not cared. No, the last 7 title matches he's had, no, I have not been a fan.
Whereas I've loved it because he's such a good heel.
Like, since he dropped Sandow.
He's such a good heel. He really is.
Like, everybody says that. And he's not a bad heel. You know what I think the problem is? They put him in bad contrast. What the fuck is The Miz doing up against Dolph Ziggler? Look, I know Dolph Ziggler is over his shit.
Somehow.
I don't understand why. All he does is get on Twitter and trash talk the company he works for, which is a ticket to get fired if you're Ryback. I mean, not that I'm disagreeing with that. What a great reason to fire Ryback. He was being a twat. But, you know, what? I mean, he's been doing this for years. You know.
But he's Dolph Ziggler, and people fucking love him and buy a ton of his merch, so he doesn't get fired.
Yeah, I guess. And I don't know what the guy's fucking gimmick is. Yelling, feeling. He is still playing a heel, and he's over his shit. All he does is whine and bitch that he doesn't get what he deserves, and he never gets a match.
He's got passion. See, because you're seeing the cuts of these promos. I think if you actually watch the promos, you might have a slightly. I mean, you probably wouldn't give a shit, but you might have a slightly different view on them because he's got passion. He builds up to those moments. Those are just the things they show you.
I mean, maybe. Look, 5 years ago, I loved Dolph Ziggler. And you know what? In theory, I love Dolph Ziggler. I'll take as many Billy Guns as you'll give me, WWE.
They're on 3 now.
Well, 2. Billy's fired. But...
Oh, well, for now.
For now, sure. He's still in the game, so I'm sure he'll make a return eventually when they've decided he's done.
So they're down to just the 2 Billy Guns.
Just the 2 Billy Guns. Although they're training up Creepy Curdy.
As a 3rd Billy Gunn.
But, I think he's a good athlete. I think he's a good performer. And most of the time, I don't think he oversells. Most of the time, I think he's one of the best guys, working a jobber game in WWE right now.
And he's super over. And I understand, a good over face doesn't necessarily need to win matches like a good over heel doesn't need to win matches. It's about the story. But, no, they need to win some matches. We'll circle back around to this later. But face or heel, no matter how over you are, you need to win some matches.
Now, with the angle they were running here, with the Daniel Bryan versus
The
Miz thing, I thought it was a good idea for Dolph to lose this match.
Yeah.
At the same time, what the fuck does this mean for Dolph?
Well, you see, they had him lose the match via chicanery, which is nice after a really strong performance. And where he was obviously about to win.
After they've been talking up The Miz, the internet's been talking up The Miz as this great heel, and the commentary's been talking him up as this master tactician, and when he's just won matches by weird circumstance or sorcery.
And then you have a nice classic, his manager interferes and wins the match for him.
Honestly, the best possible outcome.
And he takes the low road and he hits somebody in the balls.
Yep.
It's good heel wrestling, and it's one of the reasons The Miz is a good heel is because this was a really solid match, honestly. But I can understand why you don't like it because you don't give a fuck about the current Miz run, and you actively no longer believe in Dolph Ziggler.
No, he's giving me no reason to,
and that's fair. That's absolutely fair. The match itself was fine, but I can understand why you dislike it, and I understand why other people like it.
I mean, it was a lack of investment. And I guess, if you're still 100% invested in Dolph Ziggler...
Or The Miz.
and like 50% of the other, I'm sure.
Yeah, you probably had a great time. Myself, I was a little bored. So, circling back around to our other point, Bray Wyatt defeated Randy Orton by forfeit.
So he attacks him backstage. I'm sure. I haven't read the dirt sheets.
He had
I don't know.
Concussion.
Still, or was it new?
He wasn't. They thought he'd be cleared by Backlash. He wasn't.
Okay. That's what I figured. I absolutely was surprised he was on the card, honestly.
So they called an audible.
And Kane was there to step up.
And Kane beat Bray Wyatt in a 10-minute match.
A 10-minute match which contained Bray Wyatt breaking kayfabe because even he was kind of out of it at this point.
Yeah, like Bray Wyatt, eater of worlds, very intense guy, literally spiked the lens, did a little smile, shrugged at the camera like, it's a living, and then fucking did a move.
Jesus Christ. All right, okay, so, and I'll be brief about this because there's no match to talk about. This was garbage. They did their best, but no, I don't even think they did. I don't think they did. Kane is way past his fucking prime. The man's pushing 50. Was not prepared to wrestle this contest.
No,
And
this was, oh God, Glenn, do you have your gear?
Bray Wyatt shrugged and was farting on his snare during the whole match.
Because he didn't care, because this is another excellent way to shit on his character that he genuinely loves and puts a lot of effort into and tries. And they keep shitting on it, and eventually Wyndham Rotunda is gonna fucking leave.
And he will take his cult of personality elsewhere. But I digress.
What's his name, right?
Maybe, I don't know. Fucking Husky
look it up.
Harris. Hooly dooly. So Randy Orton came out, RKO'd him because it was a no DQ match.
Yeah, Wyndham Lawrence Rotunda, I thought so.
And Larry Rotunda. And then Kane did a second choke slam.
Yeah, it was the second choke slam,
if you can call it that, to Bray Wyatt and pinned him.
It was the Hurricane has done better choke slams
In that match.
I mean, I get it. It's the further build. It's the hopefully reset, further build Wyatt versus Orton for the next pay-per-view.
All right.
Hopefully Randy's cleared by then.
But unless Wyatt goes over, then it was just a great way to bury Bray Wyatt even further into the dirt.
Yeah, like I've heard it said online, and I don't know that I disagree, is at this point he's lost so many matches and been made to look like such a clown that no one should take Bray Wyatt's sermons or his proselytizing or his fire seriously, because he's a clown. He's a loser. He loses every time.
Who he should start a stable with? Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler joins Bray Wyatt. They become the new Wyatt family. They win like all the matches, grab the tag titles, run with them for 8 months.
Fuck, that's what I'd do. And shit, this pay-per-view wasn't hard to book. You know what you do? Wyatt beats the shit out of Kane. Randy Orton tries to run in for the save, but it's too late. Wyatt has cast him into hell or some shit.
No. You don't even need to go that far. It's Wyatt beats the shit out of Kane. Kane, it's, oh shit, it's Kane. And Wyatt just is laughing as Kane is coming out. Because Wyatt kicked Kane's ass before. Wyatt literally once kidnapped Kane.
Sure, but he wrecks him, and then he's like, no, Randy, you can't save him. Crazy swamp monster shit. Oogity boogity boo. And then he leaves.
Like, he pins Kane. Randy comes out, like, hobbling down for a fight. And like, Bray Wyatt laughs and, fucking jump scare Titantron. Lights go out, lights come back on. Wyatt's gone, Kane's gone. Only thing in the ring is, like, a rocking chair. Randy's, like, bamboozled. Maybe Randy thinks about RKOing the rocking chair?
Maybe he does it. I'd buy that. I'd buy that ticket. That
but that's crazy snake Randy Orton.
Yeah, it's just crazy snake Randy Orton to eat the rocking chair and consider having sex with it.
Mm-hmm. This was dumb. This was a bad call. This was a bad match.
It's fucking stupid.
Moving on. Heath Slater and Rhino fought the Usos for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
I feel like either of these teams could have gone over and I would have been okay.
Absolutely correct. This would have been fine in either case. If it's Heath Slater and Rhino, they got another month of the Heath Slater show, which is apparently just the funniest goddamn thing, because people are behind Heath Slater for the first time in his entire career.
Hey, it's a good gimmick, and I didn't care much for the duty joke on this show. I don't feel like they earned it, but it is what it is. But yeah, people are behind it, and I can see why. I'm glad Rhino's there. I'm glad Rhino had a title.
I think you're right. I think this is his first WWE title.
And I don't know if you guys caught it, but there was a little moment after the match where Rhino mouths to Heath Slater, "Thank you," which I'd love to know the story there.
Because if Heath Slater went to bat for Rhino's ass,
man, Heath Slater, your stock has gone up in my heart. But and if the Usos won it, great. You're solidifying your new heels. Maybe they do it in a dirty, shitty way.
Oh, I mean, they clearly do.
And now you got great heel tag team champs.
Yeah, I mean, either case wins. Either case wins.
But this is fine too. I mean, and it was an all right match. This was, I would argue that it was better than the Miz versus.
I would say pure wrestling wise, no, but I was more invested.
But I think it was a more interesting match, entertaining match.
And that's the last match on the card, I think.
Rhino's mugging was.
Oh yeah.
God, I actually was searching the internet trying to find some of the reaction faces he made through this contest, and it was just fantastic.
Sad alone Rhino.
Really jazzed Rhino.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the last match on the card.
This wasn't that stupid. I mean, it's.
This was the right call. Booking wise, I understand. And booking wise, I understand it. Booking wise, if I was in this situation, I'd done the exact same thing. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
No, and that's fine. I that's why I can't put the Miz versus Dolph Ziggler as a higher match, quality wise. I think this match was better.
Quality wise, really?
Yeah. And
I see this match as a match. Didn't really. I think by this point I was just so worn out by the card.
God, I'm not anymore. And the funny thing is, it was a short ass pay per view. I've heard some people say it was like half an hour shorter than usual. But I mean, regardless, yeah, no, you're not wrong. It was lame. It was a lame duck like the rest of this fucking pay per view. But that was its greatest sin. It didn't overstay its welcome.
It was 25 minutes.
I mean, but it felt all right. They kept the pace.
I'm not saying it was a bad match. I think you might be right, but by this point I was so tired that I couldn't honestly judge.
Sure.
I was so wiped. I was so tired of watching wrestling, specifically this wrestling. But Dean Ambrose, the champion, fought AJ Styles, and AJ Styles wins.
The Demon AJ Styles.
Okay, yeah, sure. The Demon AJ Styles, and the Demon AJ Styles wins. He cheated, I believe.
I don't even remember at this point.
Me neither. Yeah, it was a ref bump, and then this was two different matches. They got one off No, the other one was just the mace. But this was there was a ref bump, and then AJ saw that the ref was bumped and not paying attention, so he gave Dean Ambrose a swift kick to the Nords and hit him with the paralyzer, and got the pinfall. AJ Styles has money. AJ Styles sells merch. All the internet smarks, all the internet wrestling community douchebags who think anyone who didn't make their name in WWE is inherently better than anyone who did. I'm going to really fucking hate those people, by the way. Not just be tired of genuine dislike.
Well, let me breathe a little reason in here, because I am one of AJ Styles' biggest detractors. I'm not impressed by him. I never have been. I don't believe him.
I've seen people whose opinion on wrestling I value call him the greatest working wrestler today.
No. Not.
Fucking not even close.
That would be Cesaro. But I digress. And I'm not even that huge of a Cesaro.
Cesaro, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, shit. But here's where I have
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Here's where I have to play devil's advocate. Okay? So like you said, AJ Styles is money. That's fine. We're also living in an era where both of the top champions on both of the shows are guys who came from outside WWE. One's a fat indie dude.
One's Mr. Ring of Honor, the other one's Mr. TNA. Let's boil it down to brass tacks.
I mean, yeah, down to fuck. And he's fat. I mean,
yeah, you're right. But one of them is fucking AJ Styles, so I'm not happy.
Well, no. And I'm not a huge Kevin Owens fan, but, it is what it is. Look, I'm glad. I'm glad this is a thing, and not just as a fuck the WWE sort of thing, but as a, that's nice. That's progress. God damn it. You're kind of listening to us, even if you're giving us a bad version of what we asked for.
Someone said, I did some research and looked at some information.
Sure.
8 months after his WWE debut. 8 months. an established star from a rival federation, even if it isn't really like a rival, even if there's no chance they could beat them, it is a rival federation, and one of their top stars is now the champ.
That's incredible. That's nothing
He
the
didn't have to
WWE
change his
would have done.
name.
No.
He didn't have to give up copyright.
Mm-mm.
He didn't have to give up licenses. AJ Styles still owns all his own likenesses.
That's the same fucking P1 logo he's had since TNA.
And he's the champ now.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fucking mirror universe we've dropped into.
And let's be perfectly honest, I like Dean Ambrose. He's probably my favorite out of the
Shield.
The Shield. But this guy had an incredible interim championship reign.
I mean, yeah, he was that reliable pizza oven that keeps it warm at just the right temperature.
He did a great job. I don't think the guy's ready for the top game yet. I don't think he's found his niche in the WWE.
I think him as a performer, I think he's ready.
Yes.
I think his gimmick isn't good enough.
Exactly. I agree with that entirely. I think it's just too all over the place. A fucking sharper Dean Ambrose, yeah, fine, sure. I've seen what the guy's done with William Regal. It's incredible. But this...
Mauro Ronaldo finally killed the fucking Spectre of the Waggy line.
Yeah, what would he call it? The
Lunatic Lariat. Yeah. A million times better, Mauro.
A million. Fuck, Mauro Ronaldo, you are... I'll give you a kiss, you tiny Canadian man. He's so little.
You know what? He's actually like average height, I'm betting.
Sure,
but he's standing next to JBL, who's like 6'7".
10 feet tall with a 10-gallon hat on. JBL. You know what the BL stands for? Paul Bunyan in JBL language. And he carries around with him his big blue ox, David Otaka.
Oh, but look, this was the right call booking-wise. I can't dispute it. AJ should have gone over here. He should have gone over dirty because he's a heel. He did those two things. And you know what? AJ Styles, despite all my bitching and moaning, is going to have just as beautiful an interim championship run as Dean Ambrose did.
Yes.
You keeping that title warm for Papa John, motherfucker.
Yes, our Lord and Savior shall return and his blessed chords shall awaken and say that thing that nobody's quite sure what it's saying, but we all... stand up to it and salute for America and the children and fuck cancer and rise above hate.
And he will become the 16-time WWE World Champion.
And goddamn you, WWE, you made me want it. You motherfuckers. You clever bastards, you made me want it.
They gave you such a glorious opposition. They set up literal Satan.
Yeah.
And made you not only be fine with Ric Flair's title being tied, made you ask, made you want, made you tune in for the express purpose of seeing John Cena tie Ric Flair's title. They have crafted such a perfect scenario that not only are you okay with this, not only do you feel John deserves it, but you want it to happen.
Well, and it's a weird series of circumstances that led me to this point, because it's not just John Cena's fighting AJ Styles. It's been a lot of my voyage into professional wrestling backstage and history and internet culture lately that, I've kind of got a better grasp on exactly who everyone is and how John Cena compares to them. And you know what? He might be the guy, but he's not the bad guy.
No. He's... Bless his soul, I'm never going to hate John Cena. I can't. Better or worse, he's loyal. And sure. I value that highly.
Sure. And I was, and it's hard to be really, really happy about Ric Flair's reign when I've seen him in WCW. That man, so high on all the cocaine. If he had clown paint on, you would not be able to distinguish him from Dr. Roxo. Especially that one time you could see his junk through his jumpsuit.
You could always see Ric Flair's junk through his tights.
That's the plan.
But they used to make jokes about how high Ric Flair was on air.
Oh my god, dude. I just never realized.
He was
my
high
young mind did not grasp it.
Fuck. Dude was so high on coke all the time. And it's specifically coke.
Oh my god. Well, and you can just see, like, fucking Double A back in fucking the 90s, WCW 4 Horsemen. Like, just cleaning up after
Arn Anderson, you're a national fucking treasure.
But fucking Kurt Angle's a 13-time world champion. Records are made to be broken.
Yep.
And so long as it's done right, so long as it's earned, I can't really argue with it. And at this point, I can't really argue with it. I don't like children, but John Cena has made many of them very happy.
Many dying children very happy.
John Cena, he really likes anime, and his Instagram is full of weird shit that I appreciate. John Cena, he acts like an asshole to his wife, but in that fun, goobery way that I act like an asshole to my wife, just to make her mad enough that she throws something at me.
Elbows all day. Elbows all day.
God damn it. And then that stupid, fruity pebble eating motherfucker, you finally won me over. I am mad at you forever for it, but I will be forgiving when I hear the fucking trill and the yabadoo and he shows up to give AJ Styles what for.
I think that about sums it up. Our hopes, our dreams, they all rest on you, John. Don't let us down.
One last note. I'm going to ruin your segue here. This was awful. Don't watch it. No, not even the women's match. Just be happy that Becky Lynch won. Go watch CWC. Go watch NXT.
Yeah, go watch those two. They were amazing.
I cannot fathom how anybody who watches those believes this was a good show.
I think, honestly, our experience was hurt because we had just watched NXT followed by the Cruiserweight Classic the previous night. So we'd had no time to come down off that amazing good wrestling high.
I mean, and it's not even, cool moves in desperate situations and shit fucking desperate situations it should be. So many pieces went wrong here. Look, you guys didn't do anything bad. I'm not mad. You're not punished. However, you did a good thing shitty, so I'm disappointed.
Pretty much.
And you know how to do better. Look over there. Look over there where you found Mauro Ranallo. Look over there where Triple H is booking shit. You know how to do better.
Or if you don't, just let Triple H do it.
Yeah, jeez.
Our Lord and Savior, John Cena, backed up by our Lord and Savior, the King of Kings. I think that about wraps us up.
Yeah, that's it. You can do a segue now.
I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
Everything's better when nerds talk about it.
Does that count as a segue?